11th Wing Sunset Salute. Our special guests this evening from the 106th Congress are Congressman Thomas Bliley, representing the 7th District of Virginia, Congressman Ron Packard, representing the 48th District of California, Congressman Owen Pickett, representing the 2nd District of Virginia, and Congresswoman Tilly Flowers, representing the 4th District of Florida. We also have the pleasure of having in attendance this evening the Honorable F. Witten Peters, Secretary of the United States Air Force, and General Michael E. Ryan, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force. The host for this evening's performance is Colonel James P. Hunt, Commander, 11th Wing. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please be seated. The tradition of this evening's sunset salute dates back over 300 years to the British Army of King William III, serving in the Netherlands. King William's troops were housed in the towns and villages around the battlefields, and, so the legend goes, went to the local inns to spend the evenings. Drummers marching through the streets signaled the soldiers that it was time to leave, and reminded the Dutch innkeepers it was time to stop selling ale. In the language of that era, we would have heard them say, "Do den tap toe," which meant, turn off the taps. The troops only learned the last two words, tap toe. And like soldiers down through the ages, took them into their own lingo. Tap toe became tattoo. As the custom developed, the drums were joined by flutes and then by other musical instruments. Eventually, full bands played for the whole garrison, and the tradition of the military tattoo came into being. The sunset salute you see tonight is derived from these beginnings and features special performing units of the United States Air Force Band and the United States Air Force Honor Guard. Tonight, we are proud to bring you the 11th Wing Sunset Salute. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. In battles of old, the color guard led the charge. These bearers brave the enemy fire to inspire their fellow warriors to victory. Ladies and gentlemen, escorting the colors of the United States of America is the United States Air Force Honor Guard. Please be seated. The United States Air Force Band and Honor Guard have inherited a distinguished history from a long line of men and women serving their country. Bolling Air Force Base and the 11th Wing share common roots dating back to 1915 and the founding of the first Aero Company by Colonel Raynal C. Bolling. Upon deployment to France in 1917, the unit was renamed the 26th Aero Squadron, eventually reconstituted as the 26th Bombardment Squadron, a core unit of the newly formed 11th Bombardment Group in 1939, from which the 11th Wing is now named. From combat service in the First and Second World Wars to aerial refueling missions in Vietnam, the 11th Wing answered the call. Although the 11th Wing no longer has a flying mission, it continues to support Air Force deployments and fulfill support missions so that others may fly, fight, and win. Two premier organizations call Bolling Air Force Base their home, the United States Air Force Band and the United States Air Force Honor Guard, who travel the world for ceremonial, morale, and recruiting missions. Today, the 11th Wing is known as the Chief Zone, directly supporting the United States Air Force Chief of Staff. A distinctive feature of military ceremonies is the formal presentation of command to the reviewing officer. The commander of troops will present the command once the formation has been formed and accounted for. The commander of troops will now present the command to Colonel Hunt, the 11th Wing commander. Inspection of the troops began with the restoration of Charles II to the throne of England, when one of Cromwell's regiments offered its allegiance. The king carefully scrutinized the face of each soldier in the ranks, looking for signs of treachery. Convinced of their sincerity, he accepted the escort. This tradition is carried on this evening as Colonel Hunt inspects the formations of the United States Air Force Band and the United States Air Force Honor Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of our national anthem. Please be seated.